How can a little box like this change your life? I think it can, and I'm going to explain why. Mentor box. You know, somebody came to me one time and said, Ty, what's the secret to life? And I was like, shortcuts. Shortcuts. Most people in life do everything the hard way. They build a career. First, they do pick the wrong thing, and they pick the wrong. They say the average person regrets three big things: career they chose, who they married, and their education. But imagine if there were shortcuts so you can do it right, so you can get what you want quicker than almost anybody on the planet. Education system hasn't changed in 300 years. Classroom 300 years ago is the same as a classroom today. This right here is the future of your self-education. From the convenience of your home, changing your life. So let me explain, because I know I just said a lot, but I can back it up and I'll show you how. My kind of story started, and why I became a co-founder in this company, an investor in it, is because I was sleeping on a couch with $47 in my bank account, and I didn't have a college degree, I didn't have a car, I didn't have a home, I had lost touch with most of my friends, I didn't have a girlfriend. I really felt like I was at the bottom of life. And what turned it around, one of the things was my mom had given me a book that I hadn't read right away, and it was a book by Tony Robbins called Awaken the Giant Within. And I looked at it, I was like, I don't want to read this. And maybe if you have books laying around, like I was saying, that statistic, the average person only reads one chapter of a book and then gives up. Maybe you're really busy, you got family, you've got work, you got stress on you. I was the same way, and I knew there was value in that book, but I just didn't make the time to read it. And when I finally did, that book changed my life, because it said something. It said, when you succeed, you party, and when you fail, you ponder, and all greatness comes out of pondering. So I took that time from that book, was like a catalyst. It was like a crossroads change. I was going down this way, and it just pointed me a little bit different direction. And ever since then, I have been seeking out mentors to give me the shortcuts, to give me the GPS, I call it. If you go to a new city you've never been to, and you try to find your way from the airport to a friend's house, the odds are you're going to get lost, and it's going to take you 10 times longer than if you had just looked at GPS. GPS gets you there in the quickest route possible. And so mentors in books do those for you. And if you look at the success story of almost everybody, whether it's Mark Zuckerberg started Facebook, Bill Gates started Microsoft, Warren Buffett started Berkshire Hathaway, the number one investor, billionaire in America. All of them trace a great part of their success to finding a mentor who gave them tips, told them, don't do this, don't do that, go left, don't go right, and really, like I said, narrowed and shortened that learning curve. But here's the problem, and this is why Alex and I created this company, because most mentors are either too rich, too busy, or not alive to actually take time and personally guide you, right? So that's where books come in. But even books have a problem. Books have the problem that maybe you don't like to read that much. Maybe you don't have time. Maybe you read, but you don't retain in your memory what you just read. So it's kind of like a waste of time, because it never has any positive effect on your life. Well, imagine, so first generation, first choice is like mentors. But Steve Jobs isn't alive. So if you want to be mentored, if you want to make an app that changes the world, or you want to make technology, he'd be a great mentor, but he's no longer with us. So that plan doesn't work. Then you could read books about Steve Jobs. But like I said, most people don't like to read. So that's where this box comes in. This is the next generation. The world has not changed its education system basically in 300 years. If you went to a classroom in the 1800s, it looks the same basic structure as a classroom today. But we know so much more. We know so much more about how to learn, how to retain what you learn, how to learn faster. But yet our education system hasn't caught up to that. So this company, Mentor Box, is on the cutting edge of bringing you the right information, because there's 130 million books have been published in the history of the world, and that's too many for anybody to read. I don't care if you speed read or Warren Buffett, who reads 800 pages a day. You still need somebody to kind of say, here's a great book. You can't just go by New York Times bestsellers and things like that, because sometimes those statistics are a little bit skewed. But then you get the right books, then you get them absorbed into your brain quickly, quicker than conventional reading, okay? And then we've developed proprietary methods here at MentorBox that help you retain. And that's so important. So it's like this 3-step process done for you, quick and easy from the convenience of your home. And once we came up with this and started testing it and released it to a test group and saw the results and saw the feedback, we're like, we're onto something. We need to record a video and make this available to more people. And, sometimes I look back and I'm like, why didn't school do this? I mean, think of all the things you learned in school that you either A, don't need or don't remember. It's kind of a catch-22. The things you don't need, you remember. I remember that the California state bird is like a condor or something, or a bear is the state animal. I don't need it, but I remember it. And then those specific things that you do need, like maybe I had a class on public speaking, or maybe had a class on some financial math to calculate return on investments in your stock picks. Well, that stuff gets forgotten. And so imagine if what we're saying works, imagine what that could do for you. Where all of a sudden you know more than other people at work. So people are looking to you and you're looking to get promoted very quickly. Maybe you want to lose weight. There's cutting edge technologies mentors have in the forms of book and information. And we actually, one cool thing in this mentor box is we actually have a special mentor box. It's a USB. It's like a little cheat sheet you plug into your laptop, and it gives you behind the scenes videos with the authors and with other people that show you stuff that's not even in the book. Because a lot of these books are a couple years old and the authors have learned even new things about it, and we can deliver that to you. If you go to Amazon and just buy a book, number one, most people want to read one chapter. Number two, people don't know what to buy. Number three, if they get the book, they don't have time to read it. And number four, if they read it, they don't remember it. And then number five, some of these books are a little bit outdated. So you need to have this mentor box key card that you put into your USB, which gives you basically all the updates that we could find from the authors. So it's really an amazing idea. I'm using it. I was part of building it, and I think that that this will change your life. And so we've got somewhere below here, we've got the button where you can see and you can read more details on what you're going to get and how it works and how it ships to your house. One of the important things that I think is that it's important to get something in your hand, something real, something physical. Now, you can still do audiobooks and videos, and I'm big believers in that, but there's nothing like having something you can refer back to. You can hand off to other people, you can bring with you when you travel, and having that. And also, not to mention, you build a library. It's important to build a library. The average CEO of a successful Fortune 500 company is buying 50 books a year. Building a library, not only a physical library there, which is important, but also building a library of knowledge in their head. So I'm going to show you a little bit how this bad boy looks inside, give you kind of a sample here. This is a prototype box. By the time you see this video, it'll be an even cooler box. So every month, imagine continuing education, quick and easy from the convenience of your home. You don't have to take night classes. You don't have to drive across the city to go to a college. You don't have to spend a ton of money. Okay, this is cheap and affordable. In fact, the average person is spending about $2-3 a day on coffee, and all you do is make Starbucks rich. This is something that'll actually be an investment in yourself. So you got a little guide of everything you get in here. Dun, 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 dun. So this is this month's box. When you get it, we continually rotate the mentors and the books and what you'll be learning. I'll show you some of the books here. Here's this month's book. So what's going to happen is the average CEO is reading one book a week, 50 books a year, you're not going to catch up to that pace. But you're not going to have to put in, 3, 4, 5 hours a week to read the book, because we've read the books for you. We've created the cheat sheets, the study guides, the memory retention tools, and we've given you the book to use, kind of like a university or college uses a book as a reference. So this book becomes your reference. You no longer have to grab this book and go, wow, am I really going to get through 247 pages in 1 week? It's not realistic for most people. So imagine, instead of spending this, you only have to 5 hours reading 246 pages. Imagine if you could do it for 5-10 minutes a day, or maybe you just do it a couple days a week. Total time put in 10, 20, 30. If you want to spend a little more time, 40, 50, 60, but no more than needing 1 hour a week to invest in your own education and your own knowledge, no matter what age you are. Remember what Charlie Munger, the billionaire, says. He says, someone asked him how to be successful, and he said, you have to become a learning machine, a continuous learning machine. Every day, go to bed a little wiser than you were before. And he said, if you do that and you get in that habit, next thing you know, it takes a little while, but all of a sudden that compounding effect, and you really start seeing changes in your life. So I've got some of the books, which are of course the foundation. Then, very special, this bad boy, Mentor Box. This is your fancy schmancy. Don't share this with anybody. This is yours. Tell them about Mentor Box, they can get their own. And you pull out this right here, dink. This is your USB. Then you plug it right in and put it into any laptop, and videos will pop up, and that's the behind the scenes videos that are also your cheat sheets. So that instead of having to read this, you can just watch a 5, 10, 15 minute video explaining all the key points. We've got workbooks. This one's actually from the author of this book. Amazing one. He's a professor at USC, also a CEO of a publicly traded company. Cool little magnet with a great quote. Bookmarks. And then here's the study guide. So this study guide very quickly just walks you through the book, and without you having to, kind of feel lost. Because sometimes when people get books, they're like, oh man, what do I read? It tells you where to read, what to read, and then each individual book. It's I list this, I've got one of the top book recommendation lists in the world, and this is the book, Managing Oneself, that I named number 1. Well, here you go. This is a memory retention tool and a study guide, because what this does is it helps you take a little action while you're reading, and it's all easy stuff. You're not going to have to spend, it's not like a college course where you have to study and do homework and stuff like that. This is pretty much you applying the things in the book to your life. And so you go through that one, and then we've got the second one. How to win friends and influence people. How important is that in life? Don't you wish you'd learn public speaking? All that kind of good stuff. So, how to win friends and influence people. Then, my personal favorite. This is the cheat sheet. Really, if you get this cheat sheet, you have the whole book. At least the key components. And when you combine that with the study guides and memory retention tools, and you combine it, if you have time, for the behind the scenes videos, and you combine it, now instead of a book taking you 5 hours, you're talking 15, 20, 30 minutes. Sure, you haven't read every page, but the point is, it's not a contest in life. It's who can live out an amazing life. And to live out an amazing life, you got to know stuff. And you have to follow what other people have shown, other smart people. How to disrupt the disruptive trends. If you want to be an entrepreneur, change the world, start an app, start a company. This book is specifically on the cutting edge science on disruption. This book is on how to win friends and influence people, increase your social life. It shows the fundamental techniques in handling people, ways to make people like you, ways to win people over to your way of thinking, how to be a leader and affect change, how to make your home life happier. This other book, Managing Oneself. How can you manage yourself? How can you avoid procrastination? How can you set up your daily routine? How can you build a career around things that you actually enjoy? So that's just one box right here, quick and easy. All the reading you're trying to do, all this stuff you're trying to do, you can just get it from the convenience of your home. Shipped to you. We can ship to almost every country When you click the button below to order your mentor box, you'll see if there's any restrictions, but most countries we can ship to. And then you just wait. Sit back, get the box in, boom, open it. It tells you exactly, you don't have to do them all at once. It's like, first do this book. You sit back, got a little bit of time, in bed before you go to sleep at night, or maybe you're grab some food, or maybe you just enjoy, like me, sitting in a little library or a coffee shop. 15-20 minutes you're taking away, and you're actually reading now at the pace of the most successful people in the world, the Fortune 500 CEOs, the billionaires. But you're not going to spend 8 hours. Warren Buffett reads for 8 hours a day. Now, he can do that because he is worth $70 billion. So you get a lot of free time when you don't have any responsibilities and you have that much money. But for you and I, and for an average person, that's not realistic. But now you're getting that level of cutting edge information and knowledge and education in your head. Now, you might be young seeing this, and you're gonna have a leg up on the average person your age. You might be older. You might have gone to college. Maybe you have a PhD, MBA, undergrad. So you're very smart. Remember, the world's changing quickly. I read a book that said the pace of learning and how the world's changing with technology and medicine and changes. It's about 15% of what you learned when you were growing up becomes obsolete every year. So that's why Charlie Munger said you have to be a learning machine. And this box shipped to you once a month. It's not too often, right? You're not getting stuff every day. It's not shipped to you every week. But on the same token, it's not once a year, which isn't enough intensity. This box is just the right intensity. And it's around a tested formula, which is around one book a week pace. So there's a button below. There's a guarantee on this. If it doesn't work for you, we talk all about that, about money back guarantee. So if you're not sure but you want to try it out, that's a great way that you can just get started. Like I said, we thought about how much to charge for this, and obviously if you go out and buy all this stuff, you have to buy the books. You couldn't buy the cheat sheets, but maybe you paid somebody to do the summaries for you. If you got these behind the scenes videos, this stuff is worth, I think, about $1,000 a box, depending on how you value your time and the time of other people. And so we didn't want to charge $1,000 a month because that's not realistic. The whole point is Alex and I is not just make the maximum amount of money, it's to change the world and share what's worked for us. Alex and I actually met. He was the co-founder of a very successful 100 million plus business in Silicon Valley, and we met at a conference, and what brought us together was talking about books. So years later, when the time came to do this company, it was a natural fit for us to go, hey, I've been able to be successful because of what mentors taught me, and Alex was like, books have been he never met someone who read as much books as him. So we were kind of a match and became friends right away. And that's why when we're like, what can we really build that would change people's lives, change your life? We realized there's nothing better than this. And the more we learn, the more we stick in the box, continually updating the technology and the techniques and the videos and the cheat sheets and the study guides so that it's continually getting you're learning continually at an even more rapid pace and a more efficient pace, okay? So what are some of the subjects and topics that you're going to learn? Well, we've tried to make a completely well-rounded kind of mentor box that covers what I call the 4 pillars of the good life: health, wealth, love, happiness. If you have wealth, love, and happiness, but you're not healthy, doesn't matter, right? You got to be alive and vibrant if you want to enjoy life. So you're going to learn from cutting edge mentors and authors on what we know about health, keeping yourself healthy, whether it be diet, exercise, cooking, supplements, all that kind of stuff. Learning that from the coolest books. I got some good ones that I'm getting ready to put in from some Harvard people, some amazing books on health. Then wealth. And under wealth, I think about career, the things that I wish I had learned, and I'm sure you wish you had learned in junior high and high school. whether it be sales and persuasion, whether it be marketing, whether it be how to start your own company. That's very important. About 80% of people at some point dream about starting their own company. Maybe a part-time one, doesn't have to be try to be the next billion-dollar one, but multiple sources of income. That's what Warren Buffett says is the key to life. So maybe you've thought of that, but you didn't know how to do it. Got cool how-to practical books that are built for entrepreneurs so that you can start a business with little money or experience. Then we're talking about social. Social is so important, whether it's how to be good at public speaking, how to win friends and influence people, romance, things like understanding personality types and the 5 love languages and all this kind of stuff. It's so important because, again, you want health, then you want wealth so that you're not cash strapped every month and stressed out. But then you also have to have people to share it with, friends, family, romantic partners. And then last but not least, in fact, maybe the most important, because why do we do all this stuff in life? You want to be happy. And so books like Happiness Hypothesis by Jonathan Haidt. There's so much more we know about how to be happy, how to get rid of stress, how to get rid of depression, how to get rid of anxiety, how to deal with people in your life that don't have your best interests at heart, what you should do. So this will help you in job interviews. This will help your social life because people like to be around interesting people. You're going to become more interesting, have better informed opinions, whether it's about politics, whether it's about current events and life events. What other stuff are we going to have? I made a little list here. Business networking. How to be a master of networking. This is so important. You move to a new city, or you want to get promoted in your job, or you want to expand, find investors, or whatever you're trying to do, whether you have a career 9-to-5 job or you're an entrepreneur. You got to know these things. And actually, a friend of mine wrote a fascinating book. It's a best-selling book, and it's one of the books that'll be in Mentor Box on business and personal networking. Investing, how to invest your money. Books from top financial authors and mentors about how to make money work for you so that you don't just work for money. I always say most people, they live to work, right? And I'm like, no, you work to support your life. You should work to live, right? And so that's so important also when it comes to money. Most people, their whole life is to make money. They do the work to get the money. But what if you could learn things, whether it be investing in real estate, part-time, rental properties, whether it be understanding how to trade in the stock market, all of these things, personal finance and budgeting and getting out of debt and improving your credit score. Best way to learn that is from people who are mentors, who are authors, who have devoted their life to those subjects. Nobody can be an expert at anything, but people can be experts when they spend 20 years of their life on one thing. So books on how to not procrastinate. I just read a fascinating book. And I was thinking, I want to give this book to everybody that I know that procrastinates. But then I realized they procrastinate, so they won't read the book. So I'm like, I'm going to ship them a Mentor Box. Because then, cheat sheet, even the laziest procrastinator, can spend 2 minutes reading this and getting the main points of that book on how to not procrastinate. I talked about public speaking, building an amazing team, whether it be social life, company, all that's so important. Career choices, I got some great books on how to read people. And this is very important. Also how to know what career you should pursue, because you might be young or old and still not know what the heck you want to do with your life. Feel directionless. You got to have direction to your life or you'll be wandering if you're not careful forever. Here's how you can get your Mentor Box shipped right to your door. Very simple. Somewhere on this page, probably below here, there's a button. You click that, claim your Mentor Box. The next page is a very simple page. It's the checkout page. It's 256-bit SSL encrypted, the safest way you can pay in the world. I always tell people are worried about paying online. I'm like, no, the number one way you're gonna get your credit card number stolen is if you hand it to a waitress. So no one sees your credit card. It's very safe and secure. You put in the address that you want us to ship the box to, so you can have it go to your home, you can have it go to your office, wherever is the most convenient place for you, and it'll validate. It shows you also the shipping costs, because depending on where you live in the world, we have people in 92 countries looking at this. So, the price, it'll give you your shipping and it'll all calculate into one fee. You press that, and then every 30 days you will get the box shipped. Now, you can cancel at any time, because some people go, oh, what if I get it and I don't like it? Well, then you can cancel. But if you really don't like it and you think it wasn't worth your money, we have 100% money back guarantee also. And that's guaranteed and secured by Visa and MasterCard and Amex, so you don't have to worry. When we say 100% money back guarantee, we mean it. And no hassles. You can just email in. We've got 24/7 customer support right there on the website, phone numbers you can call, and all that good stuff. And then, like I said, you can stay on it for 1 month, 2 months. If it's working for you, you can stay on it forever, or at any time send one email and you'll know. And we also, we don't like to trick anybody or anything like that. So we send out an email ahead of time before you'd be rebilled for the next box. And if you realize you don't want the box, you can just reply to that email at any time and say, please don't, please cancel. So you can do it for, like I said, 1 month or as many months as it's working for you. So then after that, after you enter all your info, boom, you've claimed your box. It goes right into the processing. We've got a warehouse that puts all this stuff together for you, and boom, it goes out the door. And depending on where you live, it'll tell you how long you can expect to wait. We work as quickly as possible to get it to you, so it's not months or anything to get your box. And like I said, if you live in Norway, it take a little bit longer than if you live in San Diego. But I think that once it gets going, you can have this in your hands, and by the time you've gone through that stuff, drop my little box here. Don't lose this, by the way. This is cool. Check this out. Gotta show you this one more time. It's got a good little quote on there. This is the future of education. You're gonna be one of the first people in the cutting edge. It's being done. You won't be the first, but the people that do this, like I said, it's the Fortune 500 CEOs. It's the billionaires. You could say this is all the stuff that rich people teach their kids, but you and I never learned. I didn't grow up with rich parents. I grew up with a single mom, and so this little, what is this, 1 foot by 1 foot, little over that can change your life. So yeah, and like I said, in terms of price, some people are like, well, can I afford it? And I say, well, one life, nothing better to invest in than yourself. People always ask me, Todd, what's the best investment I can make? I'm like, well, you can invest in real estate. You might get 10, 20% return on your money if you do well. Invest in the stock market, 8, 10, 12, if you're really good. 20 top investors like Warren Buffett trying to get 15% ROI. But what about investing in yourself? This has an infinite, if you improve your life, that's infinite improvement, infinite ROI. Especially if you're focused on this holistic approach of health, wealth, love, and happiness. So, like I said, I think it's worth about $1,000 a box with all the proprietary stuff, but we didn't even want to charge, $500 or $300 or even $200. So we came up with a price, which basically is the price that the average. I like to use it since I realize so many people drink coffee, which, like I said, just makes Starbucks rich. One of the richest men in the world, the owner of Starbucks. For that same amount of money, you can still drink coffee. In fact, you can do the Mentor box while you're drinking a cup of coffee. I have nothing against coffee, but you should not spend that much money on coffee and not any money on investing in your own brain. There's that saying, the best investment is an investment in knowledge. That's what pays infinite returns. So you see this as your own personal investment into your own brain. Maybe you could call it a figurative 401k of your own brain. The more you learn, the more you earn. Warren Buffett wrote that in a book for 6-year-olds. That was his first thing he wanted to teach young kids. And I wish somebody had told me that. No one told me that until I was much older in life. And, but now I know. So that's all there is to do. click the button below, get your mentor box shipped right to you. And one request, when you start seeing changes in your life, when you can point to specific areas of your life getting better, send us an email. You can send one to me too, ty@mentorbox.com. I love to hear the stories of people's success. I get them all the time, and it's the highlight of my business career, I think, in many ways, to know that something like this is changing people's lives. So yeah, I will see you probably in the first box you get in one of the videos. All right? Oh, now, if you're still here, still got some questions, let me answer a few questions for you, common questions we've gotten when we came out with Mentor Box. Number one is, will it work for me? And all I can say is, it's guaranteed to work for you. Like I said, there's a money back guarantee. So if it doesn't, and I can't, that is not an experience I've had where people go, you know what? I'm learning all this stuff from the smartest people in the world, and it's not working. My experience from being in this industry and being around books, and I did a TEDx talk on it's the number 12 or 13 TEDx talk of all time about how I read a book a day. The responses that I get were from people going, man, when I started absorbing knowledge, everything changed in my life. The problem areas got better. The areas that were good already got great. So I don't think that's something you have to worry about. And you have that peace of mind tonight going to bed, knowing that if for any reason it doesn't work for you, you can get your money back. Another question is about shipping. How long will it take? So I mentioned this a little earlier. It depends what country you're in. If you're wondering if we can ship to your country, very simply, when you go to the next page and you enter your information, it will validate your address and tell you, yes, we can ship 99% of the time. If you live in, Antarctica or Greenland, we're gonna have a hard time getting it to you. If we cannot get the mail there, then you might have to come to the mainland to get a mentor box, put in a PO box of a friend or something. So for almost everybody, that's not an issue. If you live in Europe or the US, it's relatively quick to get to you, and it's pretty quick to get to almost anybody. Next question people ask, is it worth the money? This is a big question. And I will say this, I think back on my life, I've been an investor in many things, in the stock market, in privately held companies, in publicly held companies, in my own entrepreneurial ventures, in real estate, flipping and raw land, in farmland, in rental real estate, in apps, in all these any possible thing in technology. And the fundamental first investment you have to make before all those investments work is in your own mind. And that's why the number one investor in the world, Warren Buffett, his portfolio companies do 2 to 300 billion in revenue. He traces it all back to one mentor, Benjamin Graham, and the books he read from his mentor. He was lucky enough to be around when Benjamin Graham was alive, but before he even met Benjamin Graham and after, he continually went back to these books, and he says that was the foundation of him making $70 billion. And interestingly, this book right here, Warren Buffett said, is responsible for him getting married. He spent the equivalent of $1,000 in the 1940s. Warren Buffett did. He took a course by Dale Carnegie, and it taught him how to not be so shy, so he could actually talk to people. And then right after he learned this information, absorbed it in his brain, retained it in memory, he was able to go out to a little event and meet a woman who ended up becoming the love of his life. So everything hinges on what you know. This is what makes humans humans. This is what gives us so much potential for good and so much potential for bad. Because we have the potential to know things, and we can forecast and listen to others. Animals just have their instincts. So they can only live off the here and now. If some new situation arises that their instinct doesn't serve them for, they don't know what to do when they get lost. And that's why you see deer in headlights. They don't know what to do with those bright lights. But so many people are like that because they're not tapping into their intellect. They're not tapping into their mind. They're not becoming smarter. And so, what's that worth to you? How much do you think it will be worth you in your career to know more? How much happier do you think you'll be, and how much is that happiness worth? How much better would a social life be? And how important is it to have amazing people around you? To me, this is what life is. So for me, I spend any amount of money to get the information that I need. So yeah, I think this is you're getting 10x the value that you're actually paying. So I do think it's worth it. But like I said, money back guarantee. If it doesn't work for you, you're good. Next question that we get is, what about age or gender or things like that? Will it work for me? So if you're thinking of getting this for yourself, or maybe for a gift for somebody, it's great for that. It could be a child, it could be a brother, a sister, a sibling, a parent. I don't know of any time where I wouldn't want to be smart, put it simply. If you're 12 and you're watching this, one of my mentors started investing in businesses and being an entrepreneur in the stock market when he was 12 years old. He was a millionaire before he was 18. And that came from what he learned. And so Bill Gates started at 12. Warren Buffett started at 7. Jeff Bezos was a standout before 5 years old. Now, you and I weren't necessarily born prodigies like these people, but you see a consistent pattern. These people are already smart and have memory, good memories, and they're reading. How much more do you and I? If I'm not as smart as Einstein or Warren Buffett and all those. So that's why I need this stuff at any age. If you're older, hey, the world and the speed of change, if you're not careful, will make your skill set obsolete. You gotta know stuff. So, any age. So yeah, I think I've answered those questions. And click the link below. There's nothing really to think about. I think we've explained it. It's money back guaranteed. It'll be shipped to your door, and it'll start changing your life as quickly as the mailman will get there. So click the link, and I will talk to you soon.